Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. We are live from Colleen Riley Court on the campus of Fullerton College for tonight's match as the Fullerton Hornets take on the
Hello, everybody, and
Irvine
welcome
Valley
to
College.
Fullerton College Volleyball
I'm
here
Noah Alvarez,
on
and I'll be joined
90.1
by Ryan Osborne
KBPK.
later in tonight's broadcast. As the Hornets will introduce you to both teams. We'll start with the home team as the Hornets come in 12-6 on the season, 7-1 in Orange Empire Conference play, which currently has them second in the conference. They're currently riding an 8-game win streak, which has them 18th ranked overall in the state of California. Their match tonight will be against Irvine Valley College, the number one team in the state of California. They have a 15-0 record, 8-0 in Orange Empire Conference, which has them first. Haven't lost a game this year. They're led by 22nd-year head coach Tom Pestolesi. Fullerton, on the other hand, they're led by second-year head coach Megan Glennie, who took their team to the playoffs for the first time in 3 seasons last year and had finished with an overall record of 15-8. Ryan, when you have a match between two big teams like this, what are some of the things that you are looking for?
Well, I think if you're Fullerton College, the first thing that you're going to end up looking for is a quick start. IVC has the tendency to overpower people, especially what we've seen in the last 4 years combined in the Orange Empire Conference and the state of California. IVC, as soon as they start getting on runs, it's nearly impossible to stop them. So if you're Fullerton College, the number one priority you have is going on a run to start off the match. You have to take set number one. It's going to be crucial the rest of the way. If you're IVC, on the other hand, you have to make sure that you don't allow Sailor Frew to get going. If she's allowed to pick her spots on the floor, if she's allowed to find cross-court shots, if she's allowed to get good service and be able to finish around the net, you're in trouble. If you're IVC, you shut down Sailor Frew. If you're Fullerton College, set number one is crucial.
Speak of Sailor Frew, she's a sophomore, bounced back from Northern Arizona University, went to Norco High School over there in Corona, California. She's currently leads the conference with 250 kills, averaging 3.97 kills per set, which is also good for 9th in the state of California. And her 288 points on the year leads the Orange Empire Conference as well. For Irvine Valley College, while they don't have that one superstar, Coach Tom Pestolesi was telling me before tonight's game, but they have extreme balance, really good team chemistry, and despite not having a superstar, they have such good teamwork ability. They communicate very well. He says that's what's the strength of his team, and that's what's going to lead them and has led them to this 15-0 record thus far. 12 of the 15 matches this season have been sweeps for the Lasers. One of those non-sweeps, they took Fullerton College to 4 sets back on Friday, September 20th. That was both teams' first Orange Empire Conference match as Irvine Valley College won by a final score of 3-1. Fullerton, a much different team from that team that last played them in September. As we said, they lost to Grossmont Community College back on September 21st, but then defeated College of the Desert that same tournament and went on to win 8 straight games after that. Haven't lost a game since September 21st, and Irvine Valley College hasn't lost a game all season as we get ready for the national anthem. A reminder, you are tuned in to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. We are live from Colleen Riley Court on the campus of Fullerton College. I'm Noah Alvarez, and I'll be joined by Ryan Osborne in tonight's broadcast. Fullerton College coming off back-to-back sweeps of Golden West College and Santa Ana College last week. Defeated them no problem with ease as Irvine Valley College, they're coming off 2 sweeps as well. Last week they defeated Saddleback and Cypress College, both teams in Orange Empire Conference play, as we get ready for the national anthem sung by our very own Taylor Livingston. Back here at Colleen Riley Court, I'm Noah Alvarez, and I'll be joined by Ryan Osborne for tonight's Fullerton College Volleyball match on 90.1 KBPK as the #1 team in the state of California, Irvine Valley College, takes on your Fullerton Hornets, ranked 18th currently in the state of California. As I mentioned, the Hornets currently on an 8-game win streak as we get you the starters for both teams, starting with the visiting Irvine Valley College Lasers. Starting 6, Truth Hafey, Anna Unke, Leah Cruz, Elena Gendale, Kristen Austin, and Elma Entasari. They're head coached by 22nd-year head coach Tom Pestolesi, and he was telling us before the game, Kristen Austin is really that spark plug, that girl who brings the energy on this Lasers roster. And also they have a very special player in Leah Cruz. Leah Cruz out of Kronschenningen, Germany. And she leads the team with 200 points, 162 kills, averages 3.6 kills per set. She also leads the team with 31 service aces on the year. She would be what you would call your go-to player on this Irvine Valley roster. Now, I was talking with Coach Tom Pestolesi because how do you get a player from Germany? Well, he said it was kind of a random email with a video, and they just kind of got lucky there, as the luck has brought good fortune to Irvine Valley College this year, 15-0. They are 8-0 in Orange Empire Conference play. And for your Fullerton Hornets, the starting 6, it'll be Priscilla Gutierrez, Sam Longstreet, Chloe Johnson, Sailor Frew, Faith Webb, and Mackenzie Jedstad. A reminder, they're head coached by second-year head coach Megan Glenny. Assistants are Philip Tomacic and Cecilia Aragao. Leaders on this Hornets team, Sailor Frew, she currently leads the conference with 250 kills, also leads the conference with 288 points. Oh, and she's also 4th in the conference with 26 aces on the year. Sam Longstreet, the leader in the conference with 54 blocks. She also has 134 kills herself, averaging 2.13 kills per set. That 6th player will be Riley Vio for the Fullerton Hornets, getting the start tonight. She has 28 kills on the year. Didn't play a lot early on. One of the younger freshmen, as they make a libero substitution. Priscilla Gutierrez is going to check in for Karen Delgadillo. A lot of freshmen on this Hornets team. Only 4 sophomores on the roster. Sam Longstreet, who's the only one who played last season. Sailor Frew we've talked about, as Chloe Johnson will be serving it up for the Hornets first as they won the coin toss. The freshman out of Langley, Washington gets it started for the Hornets as Gutierrez now digs it out. Johnson's going to set it up for Vio, and Vio picks up the first point of the evening for the Hornets, 1-0 here in this first set. Those other 2 sophomores on the team, Priscilla Gutierrez, who played for this team back in 2017, took a year off last season, and Emma Zangenberg. Similar to Priscilla Gutierrez, she took a year off last year, played in 2017, as this one's right into the double block. Unfortunately, it's going to fall out of bounds, be a point for Irvine Valley College. So that's what you call a tool, as Irvine Valley College now in play. Leah Cruz, the first one doing the serving duties for Irvine Valley. Now it's Anastasi getting over. Now Sailor Frew with the finesse shot. Irvine Valley's able to recover as Anastasi picks up the point for the Lasers. 2-1 is the score early on in this first set. A reminder, you are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. Cruz hits the net. It's going to go over, and that's what you call, it's going to be a point for the Lasers. 3-1 early on in this first set. That's what you call a let ball when it hits the net and bounces over, as now Fullerton gets in their play set. Webb will cross it over for the Hornets. Now it's Anastasi. That's going to be a point for the Lasers as it's deflected by a player of the Hornets. 4-1 is the score as Irvine Valley leads. Cruz still serving, using her jump serve as Riley Vio hits this one too long. Another point for Irvine Valley College, a 5-0 run here early on in the first set. 5-1 is the score. The Lasers, the #1 team in the state of California, led by 22nd-year head coach Tom Pestolesi. Has Frew now with a little soft touch and dumps it over for the Hornets. That ends a 5-0 run, and the score is now 5-2 here in this first set. Frew, the sophomore out of Norco High School, will be serving for the Hornets. As I mentioned earlier, 26 aces on the year as Gutierrez now passes it over to Webb, who gets it across right into the block of Griego. But the Hornets are able to recover. Now Anastasi not able to get this one over as it spins on the top of the net. Hornets now trail 5-3 early on in this first set. Frew played for Northern Arizona University last year. She actually played for Megan Glennie as a 14-year-old in club volleyball. The Lasers pick up the point on this one. 6-3 is the score. Things didn't work out for her in Northern Arizona. She contacted Megan Glennie. Megan Glennie said, sure, come on, play over here for Fullerton College. She currently leads the team in many categories: kills, points, aces. Is among the top in the state in those categories as well, as Webb gets it through the double block, and that's going to be a point for the Hornets, a campfire, as 3 Irvine players looked at it as it hit the floor. Mackenzie Genstad will be serving for the Hornets, the 6 on the court now for Megan Glennie's squad. Genstad, Frew, Johnson, Faith Webb, Riley Vio, and Sam Longstreet, as Griega gets this one double blocked by Longstreet. Now, but the powerful strike is Kristen Austin, as it's a 7-4 game now here in the first set. Substitution for Irvine Valley College as Lexi Pereira checking in. She'll be serving for Gabriela Griego as she hits the bench. The 6 on the court for the Lasers. Griego, she just subbed out. Unke, Pereira, Gendale, Austin, Cruz, and Hafey, as this one's right into the double block, and that's going to land inbounds. The Hornets pick up another point. 7-5 here in this first set. Hannah Tobin going to check into the game for the first time tonight as she checks in for Riley Vio. The freshman out of Cerritos, California, will be serving. She gets her instructions from assistant coach Philip Tomacic. 7-5 is the score here as Fullerton College takes on the Irvine Valley College Lasers. This one, it's a nice soft touch, a diving dig by Tobin, but the Hornets are unable to recover. It's a point for Irvine Valley College, 8-5. That point was picked up by Kristen Austin, the sophomore out of Edison High School. This Irvine Valley College team has 5 sophomores on their rosters, 7. This is going to be a point for the Hornets. 8-6 is the score early on in this first set. A reminder, you are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. Faith Webb will now be serving it for the Hornets. She has 25 aces on the year. Freshman out of Yorba Linda High School. This one's going to land out of bounds. An attempt by Cruz there, but it's going to be no good. 8-7 is the score as the Hornets inch their way back. The Hornets, the number 18th ranked team in the state of California. Irvine Valley ranked number 1. As Webb gets this one over. Cruz passes it over to Hafey. Hafey now to Gendale. Now place it up for Frew, and it's right into the double block. Sent back by Austin and Gendale. Austin sending at 5'11", Gendale at 5'8". Forming an impenetrable wall as they pick up another point. 9-7 is the score. Gendale will be serving now, Austin. As now Austin recovers, passes it over to Cruz. The Hornets recover off the deflection. Frew gets this one. Digged out nicely by Austin. Gutierrez with a nice dig of her own. Longstreet trying to pick it up for the Hornets. Quick set over by Johnson. Now Cruz right into the double stuff, but the Hornets are able to recover. Frew with a little love tap over the double block, and that'll be a point. 9-8 the score here in this first set.
Beautifully done there by Frew, because you saw her end up taking a peek over her left shoulder. She realized no one was in the corner on her left. That's why she goes with the tapper, because she had the time and space to take a look prior to setting up her shot.
It'll now be Samantha Swanson in to serve for the Hornets. She subs in for Sam Longstreet as Cruz right into the block of Janstad and Johnson. It's going to be a point for the Hornets. 9-9, things all evened up. As there was a fourth touch by Cruz. So here's Swanson again, the freshman out of Whittier, California, went to Lucerna High School. As this one by Cruz is going to go out of bounds. Point for the Hornets as they take their first lead of the evening. First lead since 1-0. As they lead 10-9 here in this first set. Swanson now over to Gendale, who passes it to Cruz. Cruz through the double block of Janstad and Johnson. Point for Irvine Valley. 11-10 is the score. A reminder, you are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK as Priscilla Gutierrez makes her libero sub. Coming in with the white jerseys. The rest of the Hornets wearing their blue long sleeve jerseys with a white stripe down their shoulder as Johnson sets this up for Webb. Webb from the backcourt. Over for the Hornets now. Cruz blocked by Janstad. Now they try and get it to Austin. Austin gets it over through the double block. Irvine Valley recovers. Cruz gets it to Janstad, and Janstad not able to dig it out after the deflection. 11-10 is the score. Irvine Valley leads over Fullerton College. Serving for the Lasers will be Truth Hafey. She has 19 aces on the year. The sophomore out of Fruta High School. Frew. That one hung on the net for a little bit, as now this time she gets this one over the block. Now Johnson setting up for Jensen. Jensen with the left hand. And Frew gets the point for the Hornets. Things all tied up at 11 apiece. Really good crowd turnout tonight. See a lot of student athletes from women's water polo, football, men's and women's soccer, all across, spread across the fans. As now Chloe Johnson will be serving things up for as there's a rotation infraction on the Hornets. Don't see that called too often. Nonetheless, it's going to be a point for the Lasers. 12-11 is the score. Now Leah Cruz, the star player for this Lasers team, to serve out of Germany. As Vile gets this one across for the Hornets. Now it'll be Gendale's turn, and Gendale picks up the point for the Hornets. That is deflected out on Frew. 13-11 is the score here early on in this first set. This is an Irvine Valley team that hasn't lost in 23 sets. As this one's misplayed by Frew, it's going to bounce off the wall and be a point for the Lasers. 14-11 is the score. Frew shanked to that last one. 14-11 is the score here at Colleen Riley Court, as Cruz now serving still for the Lasers. It'll be Frew again. This one lands inbounds with a powerful strike attempt. 14-12 is the score. Hornets trail by 2. 6 on the floor for the Hornets. Frew, Johnson, Gutierrez, Valle, Jenstad, and Webb. As we get you the 6 for the Lasers after the serve by Frew. This one's going to fall too long. A point for the Lasers. 15-12. The Hornets trail by 3. as Kristen Austin going to check in. She's joined by Griego. Cruz. To serve will be Anna Unke. And rounding it off will be Elena Gendale. Here's Unke, the sophomore out of Irvine High School. She sets it up for Gendale. Gendale gets it across. Now Johnson will be setting it up for Webb. Webb right into the double stuff. Johnson now back setting it for Frew. Frew, this one hits off the net. Played correctly by the Lasers now as the Hornets get in their offensive play set. Cruz. Over to Gendale. Gutierrez digging it out, doing a nice job for these Hornets. Cruz doing the same for the Lasers. As this one hits the antenna, and it's going to be a point for the Hornets. Good rally between both teams, but the Hornets come out victorious on that one. 15-13 is the score here early on.
And Noah, if you watch Irvine Valley College, their emphasis is to make sure that they stay away from Sailor Frew as much as possible.
And for good reason, as Frew, one of the top players in this Orange Empire Conference, as Johnson makes a diving dig. Longstreet taps it over, and she picks up, no, it's going to be out of bounds, deflected out of bounds by Longstreet. This will be a point for Irvine Valley.
The entire football team on the far side was really getting into it. They thought that Fullerton had the point.
16-13 is the score here in this first set. Hornets trail by 3 to the #1 team in the state. As Lexi Pereira checks in, the defensive specialist for the serve for the Lasers, as Longstreet gets this one in the middle. Diving dig by Hafey. Johnson now setting it up for Webb. Webb gets in the middle, and you see back-to-back diving digs by Irvine Valley. They try with Webb again. Setting it up for Gendale. Johnson now setting it up for Webb. This one's too long. Point for the Hornets. We'll get you those referees tonight. On the far side, it's Phil Meyer, and on the near side, Torin Cheltelham. As that's going to force the Hornets to take their first timeout of the evening. 17-13 is the score here as the Lasers lead here against the Fullerton Hornets. A reminder, you are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. The best music, the best variety. I'm Noah Alvarez, joined by Ryan Osborne. What have you seen so far?
Well, so far what I've seen is that Sailor Frew has had her opportunity. She's hitting around 50%, at least in success rate so far. But when you look at IVC, their sets have been spectacular. You're watching their sets on the near side of the court go to either position, either a middle blocker or the outside hitter. And yeah, I know that that's normally the emphasis. That's normally what you want to see in the game of volleyball, but they switch it up so much that the Hornets don't have a chance to expect where the point of attack is coming from. Also, really quickly here on 90.1 KBPK, we've got some events coming up. Most importantly, tomorrow night, Dia de los Muertos is coming up, as Fullerton College will be celebrating the holiday tomorrow afternoon at 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. That will be carried live here on 90.1 KBPK. The best music, the best variety.
I'm Noah Alvarez, joined by Ryan Osborne, who just promoted the latest and upcoming events here on KBPK, as that's a point for the Hornets. First service error we've seen from either team, as the Hornets trail 17-14 midway through this first set. The Hornets and the Lasers last played back on September 20th. It was a much different Hornets team. Hornets lost 2 games after that. Excuse me, 1 game after that. This serve by Tobin is going to be long. Back-to-back service errors by each team. And the score now falls to 18-14. Hornets trail by 4. Hornets went on to lose 1 more game after their last match between Irvine Valley College. Then won 8 straight. Needing a 4th set in only 2 of those matches, as Frew gets this one over right into the hands of Longstreet, and she's unable to recover as she was already in the air. 19-14 is the score as Irvine Valley leads. Serving for the Lasers, Elena Gendale. Sophomore out of Los Osos High School in Rancho Cucamonga. Longstreet. Off the deflection by Hafey, and Gendale unable to recover, so it's a point for the Hornets. 19-15 is the score. Faith Webb will be serving now for the Hornets.
And Hafey tried to reach back behind her so that way she could pop that ball up. But in doing so, it goes off the top of her knuckle and deflects away from the rest of her defensive players.
That's where communication plays a big key. As this spike attempt by Austin is too long.
Fullerton is going to end up seeing a net violation here, as looked like one of the Hornets actually made contact with the net itself.
So it'll be a point for Irvine Valley. 20-15 is the score. Hornets trail by 5. Serving now will be Kristen Austin, the energy spark on this team, as head coach Tom Pestalozzi described, as this one's going to be shanked by Tobin, and it's a point for the Lasers. Another timeout called by Megan Glennie and her coaching staff, as the Hornets trail 21-15 near the end of the first set. A reminder, you are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. The best music, the best variety, KBPK.
Yeah, and when you look at KBPK, we've got a lot of stuff coming up. We just mentioned Dia de los Muertos, which will be taking place in just a few hours, I guess. Just about 24 hours, we're going to have Dia de los Muertos carried live here on 90.1 KBPK. We're going to have a lot of stories. We're going to have a lot of interviews and a lot of different talking about the cultural significance, the cultural impact that Dia de los Muertos has on the Mexican community in the immediate area of Fullerton College. It's something important that not a lot of people realize here in the, we'll say, entire Orange County area, because a lot of people are used to just hearing it and immediately assuming, oh, it's Halloween. No, it has something very different. It's very culturally rich in its origins. So when you listen tomorrow, you can get the explanation and understand what it means. But you have to listen. On 90.1 KBPK, we'll also have a live stream right here on the YouTube page of 90.1 KBPK, home of the best music, the best variety.
Personally, I'm really excited for that event, as this is going to be a point for the Hornets, as Longstreet gets it through the double block. 21-16 is the score, as Longstreet will sub out for Samantha Swanson. We were talking about it briefly during the men's soccer game last Friday. My family never grew up, raised me with the traditions of Dia de los Muertos, but I've always seen it from extended family, or talked about it with extended family, as Cruz gets this one over. Now Fru tries to recover and unable to do so, as she was about 5 feet out of bounds.
And for Fru there, she's backpedaling. So she's trying to field where that ball is going to go. It ends up going over to her right side, so she sticks out her right arm just to try and bounce it up and hope that a teammate can get underneath it in time. But again, as she's backpedaling, her balance isn't there, and it pops it up over her left shoulder.
Hafey will be serving for the Lasers, as this is going to be a point picked up by Mackenzie Jenstad. 22-17 now is the score here in the first set. The Hornets trail by 5. Chloe Johnson will now be serving. Jenstad, Fru, Valle, Gutierrez, and Webb. As there's going to be another rotation violation. The Hornet coaching staff a little bit confused, as Phil Meyer, the head ref, makes the call. Fru going to go ahead and have a chat with him. It's the second time we've seen that call been made. Both instances on Chloe Johnson. Hornets trail 23-17 to the number one team in the state of California. As Leah Cruz will now be serving for the Lasers, looking to close this first set out. They need 2 points to do so. Cruz has 19 service aces on the year. As Webb over to Johnson. And here's Valle picking up the point for the Hornets. 23-18 is the score. They still trail by 5. It was a diving dig attempt by Unke, but she was unable to get it up in the air for a teammate to play it. Now Fru will be serving for the Hornets. looking to rally and win this first set. As this one, another point for the Hornets there, as the spike attempt by Leah Cruz was just a bit short. Here's Frew again. The sophomore from Northern Arizona University. Gutierrez makes a nice diving dig, hits the deck. Now Webb gets it across for the Hornets. Anastasi changes hands mid-air and picks up a point for the Lasers.
And you notice that confused the front line of Fullerton College because the middle blockers were initially set up to her right hand. When she switches it, they have to switch their positioning. It deflects away from the Hornets.
Here's Unke as they lead 24-19 in this first set, looking to close this one out. Vile now gets it across for the Hornets. Setting it up for Griego. Gutierrez not able to get to this one, and Irvine Valley comes away with the first set victory. 25-19 is the final score in that first set. That makes it now 24 straight sets Irvine Valley College has won this season. A team that entered tonight's match 15-0, 8-0 in Orange Empire Conference play. A reminder, you are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. We are live from Colleen Riley Court on the campus of Fullerton College. I'm Noah Alvarez, joined by Ryan Osborne. Thanks again for tuning in as the Lasers of Irvine Valley College come away with the first set victory by a final score of 25-19. Who are some of those players that stood out to you in that first set?
Well, I mean, the easy way is to say that Sailor Frew looked pretty good, especially in the first 15 points. However, I really have to look at Truth Hafey. Hafey had some terrific sets earlier on in the first set that set up the run that IVC had initially when they had that 6-2 initial run. And then towards the end, Hafey was allowing for her outside hitters to set up completely before she got the ball over to them. She was dictating where the point of attack was going to be. And for Fullerton College, it made it unpredictable. They weren't able to set up correctly because they couldn't tell where that ball was coming from.
Yeah, Hafey currently leads the conference with 572 assists on the season entering tonight's match. That's good for 9th in the state of California as well. Very important. And one thing I liked about Irvine Valley College, I mean, Coach Tom Pestalozzi was telling us before the game, this team's very balanced, and we saw it. They were setting up plays for Elena Gendale, setting up plays for Kristen Austin, setting up plays for Gabriel Gallego. There was a lot of players that were getting opportunities to score for this Irvine Valley College team. In comparison to Fullerton, where usually 9 times out of 10 it's either going to go to Frew or Webb. Every now and then they'll set it up for Longstreet and Mackenzie Jenstad, but a lot more variety on this Irvine Valley team.
Indeed, and that's part of what gets them to number 1 in the state is the fact that they're able to, no matter who they put on the floor, they're able to continue their style, and their style is overwhelm you. Make sure that they indent the floor whenever they are going on the attack. In those quick sets, they come at unexpected times. You'll notice, especially in the Golden West and Santa Ana matches that we were here for, you could almost predict every 5th attack from those two teams was a quick set. When you look at IVC, you're not finding that. It's very unpredictable. Either it's going to be an absolute rocket, or you're going to find a half tapper, or it's a quick set, or it's a more finesse type place shot. IVC doesn't allow anyone in the state to figure out, or not to figure them out, but to predict where they're going to be.
And they're led by a very talented head coach in Tom Pestalozzi. Been around volleyball in the Southern California area for a very long time. Has coached the women's team since 1998 in his 22nd season.
And going back to Coach Pestalozzi, that really is an attribute to him. When his team isn't predictable, it goes back to what he was mentioning to you prior to this match starting. He doesn't necessarily have that star as he did in the past, that one person that he could look at and say, well, this is obviously the leading person in the state. This is the leading person on our team. He's had to rely on a lot of different people, a lot of different sophomores to carry that load.
And those sophomores have become much better leaders, he was telling me before the game, really helping the incoming freshmen this season get accustomed to their style of play as they're just about ready for the second set. Irvine Valley won the first set by a final score of 25-19 as Hafey gets things started with the serve. Webb getting it across for the Hornets. Both teams rallying very nicely. Now it's Griego. Johnson with a diving did as punched over now by Hafey. Good recovery there by Irvine Valley. Frew right into the double block. Gutierrez is able to dig it out. Frew now going to play it over. It's a free play now. Free ball for the Lasers. As Gutierrez over to Johnson. To Genstad. Now Cruz. Back and forth go the Hornets and the Lasers. As Frew is able to cover this one up for the Hornets. This one stays on the side of Irvine Valley after the double block by Johnson and Genstad. Now Genstad trying to pick up the point, and off the deflection, it's a point for the Hornets. 1-0 is the score early on in this second set.
And for Genstad, she was looking for the fingertips of the two middle blockers, one of them being Gabriela Griego, because she had seen the previous 3 attacks be defended, be dug out. So she ends up looking for contact and hoping that it ends up going awry.
Now it'll be Chloe Johnson to serve for the Hornets. The 6 on the floor for the Hornets is Johnson, Webb, Bayo, Gutierrez, Genstad, and Frew. As we get you the 6 on the floor for Irvine Valley. Hafey, Unki, Griego, Gendale, Anastasi, and Cruz, who will be serving it up for the Lasers. As Genstad gets it rejected by Gendale, and this one's going to be short of going over the net by Webb. Point for the Lasers. 2-1 is the score early on in this second set.
As Webb goes up for that ball, actually doesn't reach her apex of her jump as well. So she's hitting over top of that ball. That's why it goes straight down.
Webb now digging it out as Johnson quick setting it over. This one stays on the side of Irvine Valley. It's a free ball now for the Hornets. Another quick set by Johnson, keeping the Lasers defense on their toes. As this one deflected out of bounds, and it's a point for the Hornets. Frew went right at the double block of Anastasi, Antasari, and Griego. 2-2 is the score here in this second set. As now Frew will be serving. She had 7 kills in the first set for the Hornets. This one's tapped over by Griego. Now Genstad taps this one in no man's land. And that's going to be a point for the Hornets. 3-2 is the score here in this second set. Both teams coming off back-to-back sweeps. Hornets sweeping Golden West and Santa Ana College last week. Irvine Valley sweeping Cypress and Saddleback. As it's a diving dig. Now Unki's going to be forced to give this one over. It's a free ball for the Hornets. Here's Webb. Digged out. Now Frew setting it up for Webb. She punches it over, and it's a campfire. Miscommunication there as Unki made a late diving dig attempt, but she's unable to corral it. 4-2 is the score here in this second set.
Unki thought that Griego was going to go after it, but Griego, when she turns, out of the corner of her eye, she spots Unki and decides she's not going to end up going past the attack line.
4-2 now is the score here in this second set. As with a powerful strike is Gendale. She gets it through the double block. However, the Hornets are able to recover. Webb hits the top of the net, but it's going to be a point for the Hornets. Another campfire by the Lasers. 4 players in the middle of that one hitting the floor. 5-2 is the score here in this second set. Great turnout here at Colleen Riley Court. Plenty of athletes here at Fullerton College. Student athletes. As Griego gets this one over for the Lasers. Now the Hornets on the offensive, and Webb short on her attempt, and it's 5-3 here in the second set. Took that approach a little too far from the net. Mistimed her jump. And now it'll be Anna Unki, the sophomore out of Korean Lutheran High School. The southpaw serving it up for the Lasers is now Genstad. Hits this one a little too long. It's going to be a point for the Lasers. Lasers trail 5-4. They have a 1-0 set lead in this match. Unke, the libero for this Lasers team. She's in the blue jersey. The rest of Irvine Valley in the all whites, with gray on the side and in the mid-arm. A team that is undefeated on the year, 15-0. Fullerton College looking to pull off the upset as they currently lead 6-4 in this second set. Genstad will be serving. Now Griego taps it over, and Webb will get it over for the Hornets. It's a free ball now for the Irvine Valley College, and they pick up the point. 6-5 is the score here. Griego has her 6th point, 6th kill of the evening. She now gets subbed out for Lexi Pereira, the defensive specialist, now doing the serving duties for the Lasers. Johnson setting it up for Longstreet. Longstreet slams this one home, and Unke unable to get to that one. 6-5, 7-5 is the score.
If you notice, that was more direction to one spot. That wasn't a windmill or even a quick set type of thing. It was more just get your hand behind it and direction it to a spot.
Vio now serving for the Hornets as her jump serve gets over. Johnson now going to set up for Vio, who's in the backcourt. This one's too long. Point for the Lasers. 7-6, they trail. Hannah Tobin's going to check in for Riley Vio. Vio, one of the impact freshmen from Yucca Valley High School. "14 talented freshmen on this staff for the Hornets as Webb right into the double block, but it's going to fall on the side of the Lasers. Point for the Hornets. 7-8, 8-6 is the score. Webb will now be serving for the Hornets. 25 service aces on the year. Freshman out of Yorba Linda, as the Hornets lead 8-6 here in this second set. Cruz now gets it over, and that was the 4th hit by the Lasers.
For Fullerton, they had too many people up inside of the attack line, so they end up getting called for a violation.
So point for the Lasers, 8-7 is the score as Austin gets this one over. Frew over the block of Enastari. Now it'll be Frew once again. Recovered by the Lasers. Now Cruz on this side of it. Johnson now setting it up for Webb, who punches it over. Cruz picks up the point for the Lasers, her 8th kill on the evening.
And Cruz gets up over top of the net. I mean, her entire elbow was above the absolute height of the net. She swings her arm through it and practically leaves an indent.
Powerful strike. This one's going to sail out of bounds as the Hornets take a 9-8 lead here in this second set.
That's what ISBC has been known for the last 5 years, is they are a team, again, that can overwhelm you with those powerful outside shots.
Cruz has 162 kills on the year. She leads her team. As this is going to be a point for the Lasers. 9-9 is the score early on in this second set. Lasers lead 1-0. A reminder, you are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. I'm Noah Alvarez, joined by Ryan Osborne. Hornets are all tied things up with the Lasers. 9-9 is the score here in this second set, as Genstad's push is just a little too short. 10-9, the Lasers lead here in this second set. 6 on the floor for the Hornets. Genstad, Frew, Johnson, Webb, Tobin, and Gutierrez, the libero. 6 on the floor for the Lasers after the serve by Hafey. Lasers able to recover. Now Cruz gets this through the double block of Johnson and Genstad. This one's going to be tapped out by Janstab. 11-9 is the lead for the Lasers. On the floor for them is Hafey, who is serving. Gendale, Unki, the libero. Griego, Cruz, and Entasari. Here's the serve by Hafey. Now Frew into her offensive play set. Deflected. And unable to recover is the Lasers, so it's a point for the Hornets. 11-10 now is the score as Vio checks back in for Hannah Tobin. Philip Tomacic and head coach Megan Glennie directing traffic for the Hornets. Johnson will now be serving. As now Hafey sets it up for Cruz, and this one's going to be deflected out of bounds off the Hornets block. That was Frew on that far side.
So this is a matchup between two different sides that are leading the Orange Empire Conference in kills. However, if you look at the kills per sets, IVC has 14 compared to just 12 for Fullerton College.
Frew gets this one over for the Hornets. Here's Griego. And off the deflection of Gendale, it's a point for the Hornets. 12-11 is the score now. Lasers lead.
And what we mean by going through the kills per set is that IVC has played a significant amount of sets fewer than Fullerton by going through all these sweeps. But those 14.5 kills per set means that they're extremely efficient whenever they go on the attack.
A very balanced team, a very efficient team, Irvine Valley College is, as the Hornets pick up back-to-back points. 12-12 is the score here in this second set. Irvine Valley has a 1-0 set lead, winning that first set by a final score of 25-19. Things are all tied up at 12 apiece as Frew comes in with a hot jump serve. Gendale right into the double block, digged out by Unki, now played over by Gendale. Free ball, though, for the Hornets. Let's see what they can do with it. This one's too long. Point for the Lasers. 13-12, they lead.
And you look at the errors so far for IVC overall this year, 187. That's the best in the Orange Empire Conference by over 37 errors.
Now Johnson setting it up for Janstad. Cruz with the attack attempt for the Hornets. Excuse me, for the Lasers, and she picks up the point as this one's shanked by Gutierrez. It's going to force Megan Glennie to call a timeout. The Lasers lead the Hornets 14-12 here in this second set. A reminder, you are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. The best music, the best variety, 90.1 KBPK.
So when you look at 90.1 KBPK, not only do we have Dia de los Muertos coming up tomorrow afternoon, that will be from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., but then you go to one day later, Fullerton College, KBPK. We always want to be able to give a spotlight to high school teams in the area, and one of those teams that we'll be highlighting is this Friday. Fullerton Union High School will have one of their, not necessarily season closing, but at least on KBPK, one of their final season matchups on 90.1 KBPK. That will be Friday at 7 p.m. And then Saturday, Fullerton College football is going to be in play again. They are trying to rebound from their current 2-4 record and their recent loss to Cerritos. You and I were out there. It was a heartbreaker for the Hornets. They had a chance late to possibly tie that matchup up. They weren't able to do so. Well, now they have a chance to get back into the win column this upcoming Saturday at 1 p.m. against Palomar. Go ahead and check the Fullerton College football page and schedule to check out where you can watch that.
Yeah, both Fullerton and Palomar 2-4 on the year as we make our way back to women's volleyball here at Fullerton College. Webb picks up the point for the Hornets. 14-13 is the score as she hits it just past the outstretched arm of Unki. The Lasers are head coached by 22nd-year head coach Tom Pestolacy. Hornets led by second-year head coach Megan Glennie. As Griego gets the point here as this one was shanked by Frew and Longstreet was unable to recover. 15-13 here is the score in this second set. A reminder, the Lasers won that first set by a final score of 25-19. They were led by Leah Cruz, who had 7 kills in that first set. Johnson over to Longstreet, who gets it over for the Hornets. Now it's Gendale for the Lasers, and this one's going to be a side out. Hornets with the point, 15-14 is the score in this second set. Checking into the game for the first time, Ariana Recuejo. Checking in for Riley Vio. Vio sent a couple of her serves long, has 2 service errors on the night.
And service is where Fullerton College has a chance to stretch out IVC. They are the number 2 team in the Orange Empire Conference, as the broadcaster's jinx kind of takes its place here, and that ends up going as a service error. But they're the number 2 team in the Orange Empire Conference in terms of service aces. They have 125 in total. The leader is Saddleback with 152. Irvine Valley, only a total of 108.
They get the job done in other categories as Longstreet gets the job done here for the Hornets. 16-15 is the score. She's joined out there by Gutierrez, Johnson, Frew, Tobin, and Webb, who will be serving now. 6 on the floor for the Lasers. Unke, Pereira, Cruz, Griega, Hafey, and Gendale as Cruz now trying to get this one over. It's Dinosaur digged out by Johnson. Webb now getting it over for the Hornets. Here's Cruz again, and this one's shanked by Webb. Misplay. Point for the Lasers. 17-15 they lead here in this second set. We mentioned these 2 teams played before earlier this year, back on the 20th of September. The Lasers won in 4 sets. The last time this Lasers team went to 4 sets, as this one, the line was crossed by Cruz. The call was made by referee Torrin Cheltelhan. And Tom Pestolacy not happy with the call. It's a point for the Hornets nonetheless. 17-16 is the score. Going back to that last match between Fullerton and Irvine Valley. Irvine Valley won the first set 25-21. Fullerton stole that second set from them 23-25, and Fullerton was the road team in that game. As Cruz now gets this one over into the double block. And it's a point for the Lasers.
You mentioned earlier, these are the top 2 teams in the Orange Empire Conference. Irvine Valley is 8-0 in conference. Fullerton at 7-1. However, they have a team just behind them in Orange Coast who is currently 6-2. And overall, they are 13-3, who's sneaking up on them. So for Fullerton College, if they can end up taking this one away from IVC, it'd be crucial.
4 teams from that Orange Empire Conference are ranked in the top 25. Orange Coast ranked 19th, right behind Fullerton College, as Griego picks up the point for the Lasers on that one. 19-16 is the score. Also ranked in the top 25 is Cypress College. They're 8-6 on the year. Timeout called by head coach Megan Glenny as the Hornets trail 19-16 here late in this second set. A reminder, you are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. The best music, the best variety. 90.1 KBPK. I'm Noah Alvarez, joined by Ryan Osborne. Don't forget, KBPK has Dia de los Muertos tomorrow. Coverage start at 6. Then Friday, a little bit of Friday night lights action, as
we've got a significant amount of events coming up. As you mentioned, Dia de los Muertos says we've got a service error over to my right-hand side. Dia de los Muertos is coming up tomorrow night at 6 p.m. We'll be going all the way until 10. Then when you switch it over to Friday night, you've got the Gridiron Game of the Week here on 90.1 KBPK, in addition to Fullerton College football, which will be on Saturday afternoon. Mark Pavlovich, Corey Nalen, Noah Alvarez, and the entire crew out there for Fullerton College TV. So go ahead and check out the Fullerton College Athletics homepage, and you can see where it is that you can watch that game live.
19-16 is the lead for the Lasers, as Hafey now will be serving for Irvine Valley. Frew hits this one too long, but it's deflected off the Lasers. It'll be a point for the Hornets, 19-17. Hornets trail by 2. Megan Glandy making another substitution as Vio checks back in for Tobin. Johnson now serving. They called the rotation violation a couple times when Johnson was serving, so we'll see what happens here. They let it go. Griego blocked by Vio. Now Jenstad punches this one over, but it's a net violation by Jenstad. 20-17. The Lasers lead over Fullerton College. A reminder, you are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. Here's Cruz to serve now for the Lasers, and this one's going to be wide right. 20-18 is the score late in this second set. Irvine Valley leads 1-0. Irvine Valley 15-0 on the year. Fullerton 12-6. Both teams in the Orange Empire Conference play. As Griego, this one is short, hits the top of the net and bounces back in on her side. 20-19 now is the score. Hornets trail by 1. Frew's serve is too short as well, so it's going to be a service error for the Hornets. Comes at a bad time now as that puts the Lasers up 21-19. 2 substitutions come in as the libero Unke comes in for the Lasers, as well as Kristen Austin, the spark plug for this team. Here's Unke, the left-handed serve. Gutierrez dives and digs it out. Vio was able to cover it up for after the double block. Now here's Austin, and Austin off the fingertips gets the point for the Hornets. 22-19 is the Lasers lead late in this second set.
And it's a miss it that ends up working for her because, as you mentioned, it's off the fingertips. She ends up waving for it initially, misses on her initial attempt, and then finally just brings her arm in slightly late and gets the bottom of the ball.
Johnson with the quick set. First time we've seen that in quite some time. Picks up a point for the Hornets, 20-22. They trail here in this second set. Now Janstad will be serving for the Hornets. She has 17 service aces on the year. Coming into tonight's game, Austin, again, mistimed her jump, but she's still able to get this one over. It's a free ball for the Lasers as Janstad unable to dig this one out. 23-20 is the score. Lexi Pereira going to check in for Gabriela Griego. As the Lasers are 2 points away from closing this second set out with the victory. It's been back and forth all evening in these first 2 sets. Lexi Pereira gets this one over, just a normal serve. Longstreet directionally hits this one to the front left, and no one was there as Unke tried to make a dive and dig it out. Unable to do so. 23-21 is the score. Second time we've seen that by Longstreet, who has 4 kills on the evening. Megan Glendy's squad trails by 2 as Requejo is going to check back in for Vio. She had a service error last time. This one going to be wide left. So the freshman out of Roland High School unable to do what Megan Glendy is asking her to do. 24-21 is the score here in this second set. The Lasers 1 point away from going up 2-0. Elena Gendale will now be serving. She has 13 aces on the year. Frew passes to Johnson. Now here's Longstreet. Cruz trying to pick up the points for Irvine. Now Webb into the double block. Gutierrez over to Longstreet. Now Hafey sets it up for Cruz, who left hands it. Longstreet through the double block. Gendale's able to recover. This one's pushed over, and it's going to be a point for the Lasers that closes things out. 25-21 is the final score. The Lasers defeat the Hornets in that second set. Now have a 2-set lead here tonight. A reminder, you are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. We are live from Colleen Riley Court on the campus of Fullerton College as the Hornets take on the #1 team in the state of California in Irvine Valley College. I'm Noah Alvarez, and I'm joined by Ryan Osborne. A reminder, a couple events coming up on 90.1 KBPK. Tomorrow we'll have coverage of Dia de los Muertos here on the campus of Fullerton College. Coverage will begin at 6 p.m. Be sure to tune in for that. Then Friday, the Gridiron Game of the Week as Sunny Hills takes on Fullerton Union High School. That'll be right across the street from the campus of Fullerton College. You can tune into that game on 90.1 KBPK. And then Saturday, Palomar takes on Fullerton College as two 2-4 teams look to head into the right direction. Hornets football team currently on a 3-game losing streak, losing another heartbreaker to Cerritos College last Saturday. You can go to the team page, the football team page on the schedule, and find out where you can watch that game. And then also on 90.1 KBPK, November 1st, basketball season just around the corner as the men's team here at Fullerton College, led by Perry Webster, has their first game of the year against Vanguard University, going up against their JV squad. Fullerton College coming off a state finals run, winning state championship last year. So we'll see what's in store for the 2019-2020 Fullerton College basketball season. A reminder, those events all on 90.1 KBPK. The best music, the best variety, KBPK. I'm Noah Alvarez, and I'm joined by Ryan Osborne. It's been an entertaining game thus far between Fullerton College and Irvine Valley College. Irvine Valley entering tonight's game 15-0 on the year, 8-0 in conference play. Haven't lost in 25 straight sets now. Fullerton was near the next hottest team in the state of California. They won 8 straight games, sweeping Golden West and Santa Ana most recently last week. But they have met their match tonight thus far, and we'll see if they can pull off the upset, winning 3 straight sets in order to do so. We're just about ready for the third set here at Colleen Riley Court. A look ahead at both teams' schedules this year as well after tonight's game. Irvine Valley will take on Santa Ana College this Friday, and then next Wednesday they take on Santiago Canyon College. They get their bye next Friday. And for Fullerton College, after tonight, they have 7 of their last 9 home games at home this year. They host Orange Coast College next Wednesday. They have this Friday off. And next Friday, on the 1st, they take on Santiago Canyon College. So we're just ready to begin this third set as Chloe Johnson gets it started serving for the Hornets. Jenstad picks up the block right away for the Hornets as they lead 1-0. That's 3 straight sets where the Hornets have gone up 1-0. We'll see if the Hornets can put together a run and hang on to that lead. As here's Johnson again, getting it over. Here's Unke passing it over to Hafey. Right into the double block, but Jenstad recovers. Frew now plays it over. It's a free ball for Irvine Valley. Here's Griego, and Griego directionally hits this one to where no one was at on that Fullerton defense. 1-1 is the score early on in this third set. Reminder, I'm Noah Alvarez, joined by Ryan Osborne. Big thanks to Mark Pavlovich, who's doing the recording. As Frew tries to make the save, unable to do so for the Fullerton Hornets.
It's okay. You can say you flinched.
Only a little bit. 2-1 is the score. The Lasers lead. Cruz now serving for the Lasers, as this one's deflected by Anastari. Webb makes a diving dig as the Hornets get it over, thanks to Valle. Here's Unke now playing it for the Griego, and this one's going to go out of bounds. 2-2. Things are all tied up here at Colleen Riley Court. Frew Went from crashing into the table now to serving for Fullerton College. As Gendale picks up the point here with a powerful strike. We haven't seen a lot of plays for Gendale. That's only her 3rd kill on the evening, but man, she has a cannon on her arm too.
Absolute windmill there, because when Fullerton College ended up seeing her go up, there was no chance for them to have a reaction. It was just on them too quickly.
Johnson now setting it up for Jenstad. This one spins at the top of the net. Webb's able to recover for the Hornets. Now it's Gendale again, partially deflected by Jenstad. Vayo gets it through the double block. Now it's Griego. Jenstad blocks this one over. And this one's shanked by Johnson as Frew tried to make a diving dig. Goes all for naught. 4-2 is the score here in this 3rd set. Irvine Valley leads as they look to remain undefeated on the year, trying to advance to 6-0, pick up the sweep tonight. Johnson now setting it over for the Webb, the freshman. Gutierrez and Webb. Little miscommunication there between the two. 5-2 now is the score for Irvine Valley College. 6 on the court for the Hornets. Vayo, Johnson, Jenstad, Frew, Webb, and Gutierrez. No Longstreet as Unke will be serving for the Lasers. Jenstad. Quick set on this one, and she picks up the point after the shank of Unke. 6 on the floor for the Lasers. Austin, Gendale, Griego, Hafey, Cruz joined alongside Unke as they lead 5-3 here in this 3rd set. Sam Longstreet going to check back into the game for the Hornets. Here's Jenstad, who will be serving now for Fullerton College. Hafey now setting it up for Gendale. Hornets are able to recover and dig it out. Unke now setting it up for Griego. Longstreet blocks this one over. Unke's playing it over. Now it's a free ball for the Hornets as Frew from the backcourt gets it across. Webb with the block on this one. She sends it back. Lasers are able to recover. Longstreet spikes this one down, and it hangs on the top of the net for a little bit. Now Gendale gets it across. Frew setting it up for Vayo. Griego now. And her kill is digged out, shanked by Frew. 6-3 now is the Lasers lead after that back and forth rally.
Frew didn't really have a chance to get that back and forward because that ball was over towards her left. By the time that she ends up rotating and shifting her shoulders to it, it was already technically past her. It was more of a reactionary type thing.
Griego, the sophomore out of Santiago High School in Corona. She has 4 kills on the evening. Came into tonight with 128 on the season, which is good for 3rd on the team as Johnson sets it up for Longstreet. And she gets it through the middle block of Austin. It's a point for the Hornets, 6-4, a much needed point. It ends a 3-0 run. Gutierrez is going to check in for Vayo. She joins Frew, Johnson, Webb, Longstreet. As Nicole Tiffany will now be serving for the Hornets. She helps get it over, but no, that's going to hit the top of the net and bounce back into the Hornets' play on the 3rd hit. So it'll be a point for the Lasers. Tiffany's going to sub back out as Tobin comes back in. 7-4 now is the score. Lasers lead over the Hornets. A reminder, you are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. Johnson's going to set it up for Webb, and this one's right into the double block, but it tools out of bounds, and it's a point for the Hornets. 7-5 is the score. Webb now serving the freshman out of Yorba Linda, California. No service aces on the evening, but she had 25 entering tonight's match. Frew able to dig this one out. That'll be Webb who punches it over. Griego gets this one blocked by Longstreet. And this one's tapped over the net, but out of bounds by Hafey. 7-6, the Hornets trail here to Irvine Valley College. Webb's 25 service aces, good for 5th in the conference. As this is another campfire for Irvine Valley College, the 3rd on the evening. Has 2 players, not sure on who was going to get the ball. Scored all tied up now at 7 apiece here in this 3rd set. Lasers lead 2-0. Hornets trying to put together a little run here and close out this 3rd set. Lift to see a 4th straight as Janstad gets this ball blocked. Johnson now over to Longstreet. It's played over. It's a free ball for the Hornets. As it's a joust between Longstreet and Austin. Longstreet wins that one. Lasers able to recover. It's a free play though. And this one is a point earned by Frew for the Hornets. They go up 8-7 now in this 3rd set. It's a 4-point swing for the Hornets. That's Frew's 10th kill on the evening. As Webb now, her serve falls short, so that's going to end the 4-0 run for the Hornets. Things are all tied up at 8 apiece. It'll be Austin to serve now for the Lasers. Johnson thought about quick setting it. Gets it over to Frew now, right into the double block. Gendale digs this one out. Cruz with a powerful strike. Gets it through Hannah Tobin's dig attempt. Lasers now lead 9-8 here in this 3rd set. Kristen Austin still doing the serving for the Lasers. Picked up the last point. As Cruz now love taps this one over and Tobin crashes, hits the deck trying to save that one. Unable to do so. 10-8 now is the score. 3-point swing for Irvine Valley. Here's Austin, a floating serve. Not much spin on that one, but nonetheless, it's a point for the Hornets. Longstreet able to spike that one home. 10-9 here is the score in this 3rd set. A reminder, you are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. Fullerton looking to pull off the upset as they face the #1 team in the state as Samantha Swanson. Her serve falls short and it'll be a point for the Lasers. 11-9 is the score. We've seen now a few of those. Longstreet will check back in, only to be subbed out, libero sub by Gutierrez. Hornets trail 11-9. Truth Hafey now serving for the Lasers, the #1 team in the state of California, 15-0 on the year. Frew gets this one over the double block and in for a point. 11-10, the Hornets trail here in this 3rd set. They trail 2-0. Now serving for Megan Glennie's squad, Chloe Johnson. This one's going to fall long. So it's a point for the Lasers. They now lead 12-10. The Lasers swept Saddleback College in their most recent game last Friday. 3-0. Here's Cruz now with the serve. Team that has won now 25 straight sets, looking to make it 26 and sweep the Hornets, but the Hornets have other ideas as they trail now 12-11. Leading the way for the Hornets, Sailor Frew, who has 11 kills on the evening. She'll now be serving. This one's played back. Now she digs it out. Frew does. Gutierrez now setting it up for Webb. Quick set attempt by Antasari. Vio gets it through the double block. It's a pancake, though, by Unke, and the Lasers are unable to recover. So good hustle there by the Lasers. Unable to recover and pick up the point. Things all tied up at 12 apiece. Again, I'm Noah Alvarez. I'm joined by Ryan Osborne for tonight's match between the Fullerton Hornets and Irvine Valley College. Things are all tied up at 12 apiece here in this third set. As now Griego will get her turn. This one goes out of bounds. Point for the Hornets. 13-12 now they lead, their first lead since it was 7-6 early in this set. It'll actually be a point for the Hornets. It was deflected out of bounds. Excuse me, a point for the Lasers as it was deflected out by the Hornets. 13-12, the Lasers lead. As Griego powers this one through the double block and misplayed there by Frew. Miscommunication with Riley Vio, the freshman up front. 14-12 now the Lasers lead here in this third set, looking to make a sweep as they lead 2-0. Anna Unke will be serving for the Lasers. Riley Vio now getting it across, and this one's too long. And we see here Coach Megan Glenny is going to be forced to take another timeout. She's taken all the timeouts this evening, something to keep an eye on too. Head coach Tom Pestolacci hasn't called a single timeout this evening. The score now, 15-12. The Lasers lead over Fullerton College. A reminder, you are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. We're live from Colleen Riley Court on the campus of Fullerton College as the Fullerton Hornets, the 18th ranked team in the state of California, take on the #1 team in the state in Irvine Valley College, the Lasers. They've been able to handle business thus far. To recap you on the action earlier tonight, if you're just tuning in, the Lasers won the first set by a final score of 25-19, then won that second set by a score of 25-21. They're currently up 15-12 in this third set, looking to make a sweep, but Megan Glenny's squad has other ideas. Tom Pestolacci, though, when you talk about people who've been around Orange County volleyball, Pestolacci, there's a few other guys that have been around the sport of volleyball as much. He's coached men's and women's programs, not only at Irvine Valley College, but at Estancia and Newport Harbor High School. And while at Newport Harbor High School, excuse me, he coached the Olympic gold medalist Misty May, who was partners with Carrie Walsh during their run in the mid and early 2000s. As this is going to be a point picked up for the Lasers. They now lead 16-12 in this third set. Their largest lead of the set, that last point picked up by Griego. Here's Unke's left-handed serve. Webb now pushes it over. Here's Griego again, and Griego on fire as of late. She has 6 kills on the evening, and that's going to force Megan Glenny to take another timeout. The Hornets trail 17-12 here in this third set. Reminder, you are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. Hornets trail right now 17-12 to the Lasers. What have you seen thus far in this third set that's been so dominant by Irvine Valley?
I think it's more on the other side for Fullerton. They are starting to space out a little bit too much. They're allowing for IVC to have really easy lanes to look at in terms of cross-court shots. If you're looking at IVC, every single time they set up an attack, it's going against the grain, because they're seeing these wide open lanes that Fullerton is giving them. Now, if you're the Fullerton College Hornets, not only do you have to shore that up, but you've got to figure out a way to figure out some offense or get your offense going quickly in a hurry. Again, it's 17-12 in possibly the final set. If they don't figure things out in a hurry, they're going to end up losing this one 3-0. And once again, we want to thank everyone who's watching online on our KBPK stream. If you are watching online and you want to shout out, maybe you're a family member, maybe you're a friend of one of these Hornets, or maybe even IVC, let us know. In the comments section, we will be sure to pass it on. You're watching on 90.1 KBPK.
Right into the double block, but Fullerton's able to recover only until Genstad hits this one wide right. 18-12 now is the score. It's 5 straight points for Irvine Valley. Hornets starting to lose a little bit of composure here. Let's see if they can rally back. Unke has been serving for quite a bit. Here's a back set, and this is a point picked up for the Hornets thanks to Riley Vayo. 18-13 is the score here. Now Genstad will be serving for the Hornets, looking to make a little run here. Here's Gendale, who gets it over for the Lasers. Now Longstreet from the middle position. Frew now setting it up to Webb, outside hitter. It's going to fall right in. No, it's a pancake by Cruz. They're going to rule it. It hit the floor, so no pancake for Cruz, and it's a point instead for the Hornets. 18-14 is the score between the Hornets and the Irvine Valley Lasers. A match between two Orange Empire Conference teams, two teams that could face each other in the playoffs later this season. As Webb hits this one over. Now Griego gets it through the double block, and that's a tool for the Lasers. It was deflected out of bounds by Longstreet. 19-14 is the score here in this third set. A reminder, you are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball on 90.1 KBPK. The best music, the best variety, KBPK. Lexi Pereira now checking into the game. This serve is long. It's a service error for her, the first on the evening for her, as the Hornets now bring it back within 4. 19-15 is the score. Good awareness there by Frew to know where the back line was and let that one go. Nicole Tiffany checks in. She'll be serving now for the Hornets. Pereira passes it over, and this one is inbounds. Kristen Austin with a nice kill there. Her third of the evening. The Lasers now lead 20-15, 5 points away from Pater as they look to complete the sweep of Fullerton College. Frew passing it over to Johnson. Now Longstreet. This one's shanked by Gendale as she had no chance on that one. 20-16 is the score.
And the Fullerton College Hornets are going to need a lot more of that. They have to get it towards that back three of IVC, who haven't really been tested tonight.
Here's Webb now serving for the Hornets. Cruz gets this one inbounds in that far left corner as the Lasers bring their lead back to 5. 21-16 is the score. Couple of substitutions for Irvine Valley College. Jasmine Langle getting her first action of the evening. The 6-foot freshman from Rim of the World High School. Johnson now setting up for Frew. Here's Cruz now. Digged out by Gutierrez. Frew right into the double block of Langle and Antisari. Langle just checked in, and her teammates are loving it. 22-16 is the score. The Hornet bench still trying to keep the energy alive as they trail 22-16 in this third set. Frew gets it over. Now here's Cruz. Digged out. No, it's shanked by Gutierrez. Unable to recover. Whether it's Griego, whether it's Cruz, whether it's Austin, the kill attempts by this Irvine Valley College have been well placed and well timed. They currently lead 16-13. Webb now digs it out. Here's Frew. Little finesse shot. And Austin tips it off of Langle. Miscommunication there. Point for the Hornets. They trail 23-17. Let's see if they can put together a rally and storm back in this one. At least to force a fourth set. It's been an exciting back and forth match between both these top 25 teams in the state of California. Samantha Swanson now in the game to serve for the Hornets. And Cruz gets her shot blocked. No, it partially hit the antenna So 23-18 now is the score here at Colleen Riley Court. Hornets on a little 2-0 run. Trying to bring this one back. Force the fourth set. Here's Entisari, and this one's off the deflection of Genstad's block attempt. 24-18 is the score. Irvine Valley now 1 point away from sweeping this one.
Yeah, and for Irvine Valley, this is game point, as you mentioned, but it also signifies something else, and it solidifies their position as the #1 team in the state. It's going to be really hard to try and knock them off the rankings in the latter half of this year.
Haythue now will be serving. Swanson over to Genstad, and that is going to do it for the Hornets. They lose the final set by a final score of 25-18. A reminder, you are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK.
Thank you, Noah. So once again, you are listening to 90.1 KBPK. Not only listening, but watching as well. That's right. 90.1 KBPK also does live streaming as well to YouTube. Now, we mentioned it a little bit earlier that we had some events that we've got going on, and we want to highlight those once again. So we have Dia de los Muertos coming up tomorrow night at 6 p.m. It's going to go from 6 p.m. all the way until 10 p.m. And then after that, we have the Gridiron Game of the Week coming up on Friday night, as Fullerton Union High School will have their opportunity to be in the sun here at 90.1 KBPK. Then we switch it over to Saturday, where the Fullerton College Hornets football team will be back in action. They'll be taking on Palomar again. Last week, they ended up taking a trip down to Cerritos. They weren't able to beat the Cerritos Falcons. They had a little bit of trouble late getting down the field and also making sure that Cerritos stayed off the board. Nonetheless, these spectacular Hornets will have another chance to get back into the win column with an opportunity against Palomar this upcoming Saturday. So that will begin at 1 p.m. between Fullerton College and Palomar. That will take place with Fullerton College TV, or in conjunction with Fullerton College TV. You can check the Fullerton College Athletics webpage to see where exactly you can stream that game live, again at 1 p.m. So Fullerton, Palomar, Mark Pavlovich, Corey Nayland, the two broadcasters for Fullerton College football, will have it live. And you can check the Fullerton College Athletics homepage for the stream to that game. Our final here, once again, Irvine Valley College with a 3-set sweep over top of the Fullerton College Hornets. Unfortunately for the Hornets, they are now going to end up dropping in the standings. And yes, that's not necessarily what they wanted to see, as they're going to go to 7-2 in the conference. Irvine Valley College will now go to 9-0. But I think if you're the Fullerton College Hornets, it's easy to analyze this matchup, considering that you're going up against the #1 team in the state. So the updated standings as of right now, Irvine Valley College is now sitting at 9-0. Fullerton College is now sitting at 7-2 overall, with Orange Coast now at 7-2 as well. Those two teams are currently tied. So Fullerton College continues to stay in the top 3 of the Orange Empire Conference. Now their next matchup coming up for the Fullerton College Hornets will be against none other than the Orange Coast College Pirates. That will be here at home on October the 30th at 6 p.m. So once again here at Colleen Riley Court, where they will have another Orange Empire Conference matchup to finish off, or not necessarily finish off, but to get to the latter stages of the season. So final score, 3-0, 3-0. It's a sweep for Irvine Valley College over top of the Fullerton College Hornets. Tune in tomorrow afternoon, 6 p.m. for Dia de los Muertos. We're going to be going live from 6 p.m. all the way until 10 on 90.1 KBPK. For Corey Nayland, Mark Pavlovich, Noah Alvarez, I'm Ryan Osborne, thanking you for joining us this afternoon. Fullerton College ends up losing it by a final of 3-0. You have been watching and listening to Fullerton College Volleyball.